The great leader. You know, the one we all dream of. The shining beacon of hope in a world that sometimes feels like a circus run by clowns. Picture this, a figure who embodies every characteristic we've ever deemed important, like a walking list of virtues wrapped in a shiny cape of charisma, ready to swoop in and save us from our own bad decisions. But let's get real for a second. What does it take to be a great leader? Is it character, morals, integrity? Or is it just knowing how to smile while holding a cup of coffee and pretending to listen to someone's complaints? Let's start with character. Character. That elusive quality that's supposed to define a great leader. The kind of character that makes you think, wow, this person must have been raised by a pack of wolves who also happen to be philosophers. We're talking about someone who stands firm in their beliefs, unless, of course, they're in front of a camera, in which case they'll shift their stance faster than a chameleon at a disco. Because, you know, principles are great until they start affecting your approval ratings. Who needs integrity when you can have a 20-point lead in the polls? And morals. Let's not forget about those. Morals are like the speed limit signs on the highway of leadership. Sure, they're there, but how many people actually pay attention to them? A great leader is supposed to be a moral compass, guiding us through the murky waters of ethical dilemmas. But let's be honest, most leaders are more like a GPS that keeps recalculating every time they hit a pothole. Recalculating? Turn left at the next scandal. Make a U-turn at the next election. It's like they're playing a game of ethical twister, trying to contort themselves into positions that will get them the most votes while avoiding any real accountability. Now, integrity. Integrity. The holy grail of leadership qualities. It's what we all want from our leaders, right? Someone who sticks to their word, even if it means sacrificing a few campaign promises. But here's the kicker. Integrity is like that one friend who always shows up late to the party. By the time they arrive, the cake is gone, and everyone's moved on to the next event. Leaders love to talk about integrity, but when push comes to shove, it's often the first thing to go out the window. Oh, I promised to lower taxes. Well, I also promised to fix the roads, and we can't have both. Let's just say I was being creative with my promises. And leading by example, what a concept. You'd think that if you're in a position of power, you'd want to set a good example for others. But alas, many leaders seem to think that leading by example means showing us how to dodge accountability like it's an Olympic sport. Look at me. I'm taking a private jet to the climate summit. Isn't that a great example of reducing my carbon footprint? Bravo. Truly inspiring. Nothing says I care about the environment like a 20-seat jet filled with your entourage of advisors, all of whom are probably Googling how to recycle paper while sipping on bottled water. So what does all this mean for us, the everyday citizens who are just trying to navigate this circus? Well, it means we have to be discerning. We have to sift through the glitter and the smoke and the mirrors to find the leaders who actually possess those qualities we so desperately crave. Because, let's face it, the stakes are high. Choosing the right leader is like picking a life raft on the Titanic. You want to make sure it's not the one that's full of holes, or worse, the one that's about to sink under the weight of its own promises. Think about it. Who do you want steering the ship? Someone who's going to lead with character, morals, and integrity, or someone who's just going to throw a few catchy slogans at you and hope you're too distracted by the shiny graphics to notice they're not actually saying anything of substance? It's like choosing between a gourmet meal and a fast food burger. Sure, the burger is quick and easy, but do you really want to feel that regret later when you realize you've just consumed a pile of processed nonsense? And let's not forget the impact of our choices. When we choose the right leader, we're not just making a decision for ourselves, we're setting the tone for our communities, our countries, and even our planet. It's like casting a vote for the kind of future we want to live in. Do we want a future filled with integrity and moral leadership? Or do we want to keep playing the game of ethical dodgeball? So I encourage you, dear citizens, to think critically. Look beyond the surface. Who embodies the characteristics of a great leader? Who's willing to lead by example and actually stick to their principles? Because in the end, the choice is yours. Choose wisely, or you might just find yourself stuck on a ship with a captain who thinks integrity is just a fancy word for "I'll say whatever it takes to get elected." And trust me, you don't want to be on that voyage.